morning everybody. We're gonna do a little bit of a morning Pilates routine here for about 15 minutes. So we're gonna start on hands and knees. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips, and you can check yourself in a mirror if you're not quite sure. Elbows are nice and soft, and we're just gonna start with gently tucking the chin and relaxing. So just kind of making sure that your chin is gently drawing in towards you, but you're not tightening the jaw. And just nodding your gaze slightly down between the hands. So it's just a tiny movement to wake up the deep neck flexors. Good job. And it should feel like you're gently lengthening the back of the neck. Good job. Last one. Now keep that gentle chin tuck and just turn your head towards the right side, keeping the neck in alignment with the spine. Don't worry if you can't go very far. Come back to center, keep the chin tucked up, and then rotate the other way. Good job. 2 more to each side. Keeping that chin tuck, spine in alignment. Good job. And last one. Really nice. Now we're going to work our shoulder blade muscles. So just make sure you've got 50% of the weight through the arms, elbows still soft, and the hands spread out like a starfish. So you're pushing through the whole hand, not just the heel of it. You're going to lower your chest down between the shoulder blades, keep the elbows where they are, and then puff up between the shoulder blades. So it's not the cat and cow, it's a movement of your shoulder blades around the sides of the rib cage. It's called a serratus push-up. We're going to exhale as you drop the chest down, and inhale as you lift the chest up. And again, it might not be a very big movement, especially if you've never done this before, or if you have any stiffness under the armpits. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Good job. Now keep that puff up between the shoulder blades, elbows still soft, and we're going to do some circles with the hips. So imagine there's a paintbrush on your tailbone, and you want to paint a circle with that tailbone. And just notice if there's any parts of the circle where it doesn't feel quite controlled or smooth, and just slow down into those areas. This is a nice warm up for our hips, and our low spine and our pelvis. Good job. We'll change directions, just breathing steadily here. In through the nose and out through the nose or the mouth. One more in this direction. Good job. Okay, nice. So then we are going to come into a cat and cow. So breathe in and really open your collarbones up to shine your heart kind of forwards, and then start to lift the gaze looking ahead and gently arching the low back. Don't dump into your full range of motion if you have any discomfort. Exhale, press the ground away, tuck the tailbone. Really press into those shoulder blades. Inhale, think about lengthening the spine as you come into your cow stretch. And exhale, tuck the tailbone, gently lifting the pubic bone up towards your belly button. And it's going to always feel a little bit stiff in the morning. And that's okay. We're warming things up. Inhale to open up, and exhale, curling everything. Good job. Pausing here. Okay. I think we'll give our arms and the wrists a bit of a break. So let's come and lie down onto your side. And elbows is going to tuck underneath the head, or place a pillow if that's not comfortable on your shoulder. And just gently squeeze your knees into each other and lift your waist on that bottom side, okay? You're going to bring that arm out ahead of you. And as you breathe in, you're just going to rotate around, melting into that stretch. Breathe in. Exhale to close. Good job. Inhale, opening up. Exhale to close. Inhale, opening up. Exhale to close. One more. Good job. Nice. And then we're going to come into a mermaid stretch. So just bring your legs into that kind of Z shape. So one knee kind of out ahead and bent, and the other one out to the other direction and bent. Or you can come into crisscross if that's more comfortable. And just bring your hand up towards the ceiling and over. Breathe into that stretch. Good job. Nice. We'll change the legs. So again, crisscross if that's more comfortable for you. Just sit into the hips. You can always sit on a yoga block if it's not quite available for you. Lift the arm up and over. Breathe into that side. Good job. My goal is always to avoid using equipment, just to make this accessible to anyone, but equipment can be really helpful. So if a couple of pillows or a yoga block make a big difference, then use them, right? It's about being comfortable in your body, taking up the space that you need to. So again, lift your waist. Hand comes out ahead, and we're going to come into our rotation. So breathing in to open up. And coming back around. Good job. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Try and move from the rib cage, letting the heart kind of rise up towards the ceiling if you can. Good. And last one here. Notice if one side's a little bit easier than the other. Sometimes it can be good to spend a little bit of extra time on those stiff sides. Okay, nice. So we'll come on to your back now. And we're just going to hug the knees in towards the chest and really tuck your tailbone. Okay? And just think about breathing into that low back right across the left and right sides of it, and in the center as well. Maybe rock from side to side to give your brain that awareness of that area. And then another couple of deep breaths into that space, into the hips and the pelvic floor. Good job. Okay. So now we're going to bring the legs down and come into a little bit of deep core work, just to get our core nice and awake for the start of the day. So have your feet in a position that feels comfortable for your hips, but you don't want to feel really kind of like the front of the hips are on and gripping. You want to relax those hip flexor muscles. So again, placing your feet up on something can be really helpful. Even like a chair can be quite high. Anything to let those hips relax. And you can do this whole series with your feet up on something. So just getting comfortable here and just tucking the tailbone, so gently pressing that low back into the floor, pubic bone lifts towards the ribs. Inhale, gently arch your back away from the mat. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, lift the sit bones up towards the knees. Inhale, sit bones melt down towards the floor. 2 more. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pubic bone towards the ribs. Inhale, a little bit of space under that low back. And last one, tucking the tailbone and gently arching that low back. Good job. Nice. So now we're just going to practice connecting to our deep core. So hands come below the belly button, gently kind of pointing down in a diamond shape towards the pubic bone. And just feel the breath move into that space as you breathe in. And exhale, purse your lips and gently blow out through them like you're blowing bubbles. You should feel that area gently sink down and kind of gently tighten. There shouldn't be any popping up. That would be your obliques turning on, and we don't really want that right now. 2 more like that. Breathing in, feeling the breath move into the belly, into the sit bones. Exhale, pursing your lips and gently blowing out like you're blowing bubbles. Last one. Good job. Now we're gonna inhale, keeping our spine in that little neutral position where there's a little bit of space under the low back. And as you breathe in, you're going to slide your heel away from you, keeping the spine and pelvis in the same position. So just moving through the hip. Exhale, engage the core, and slide the leg back in. Good job. Let's go again on the same side. Inhale, sliding away. Exhale, core draws in, spine stays in neutral as we slide that leg back in. Good job. 1 more on this side. Inhale, stretching away. Really good. Relax that foot down and just recenter. Give everything a bit of a wiggle so that you relax. Good job. And make sure your back doesn't feel like those muscles are kind of tightening to keep you in that little arch. You can always place a little rolled up towel under there to keep you in a position where you can just let your body relax onto something if that's easier. We'll do the same on this right side. So inhale, lift your toes and slide that right heel along the mat. Keeping the spine and pelvis neutral and just sliding from that hip joint and knee. Exhale, engage the core. Slide that heel back towards you. Good job. 2 more here. If it feels tricky to kind of get that heel to slide, you can always place a foam roller underneath the heel. Or anything that rolls. Last one. Inhale, sliding away. Make sure that other leg hip stays relaxed. Exhale, sliding in. Really good. Nice. Okay. I'm going to come into a little abdominal curl up now. So interlace your fingers behind your head and just really create a little nest for your head. So the chin's gently tucked with the back of the neck long, just like we did at the start. And just supporting your head into your hands, almost like you're pushing your head down. It's kind of that relaxed into them. The spine stays in neutral, so that little space under the low back stays there as we curl up, okay? The feet are nice and grounded. Breathe into the body, and we're gonna exhale, again through pursed lips, like you're blowing bubbles as you curl up. So breathing in, exhale, keep the chin tucked and curl up, looking between the legs. Inhale to lower down. Don't worry if you can't get up very high. It doesn't matter how far we go. If we're challenging our body, then we're strengthening those muscles. Exhale, think about lengthening the spine as you lift. Keeping that little bit of a space under the low back will really challenge that deep core and the abdominal muscles that curl us up on top. Inhale. Exhale. Now if your belly is pooching up into a dome, this is too challenging right now. Or you might need to rethink how you do it, but I would recommend getting some feedback from someone who teaches Pilates or maybe a physiotherapist. Exhale to lift. Last one. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Good job. Really nice. Okay. So, last one we're going to do is a glute bridge. So, just like we did when we first came down onto the mat, we're going to start with tucking the tailbone. So, it's not a big movement, but we just gently get rid of that space under the low back, belly button up towards the ribs. And then you're going to gently push into the hands, pressing from the back of the arm, the tricep. Hands are flat on the floor, feet as well. Tuck the tail and lift those hips up. Really tuck the tail as you lift. Good job. So what I really don't want to see is the ribs popping up. We keep the ribs sunk down. We lift from your hips in that tucked position. Here you should feel hamstrings and the glutes working. You might feel your core too. And maybe the back of the arms and the lats in the back. Breathe in at the top. Exhale. Pull your body over the legs like you're pulling your heels towards you as you roll the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Good job. We're going to do 4 more like that. Breathe in at the bottom. Exhale to tuck the tailbone and roll the spine. Really pulling the heels towards your bottom and then reaching the knees away from you. Keep the tail tucked, don't lift the ribs. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears and the chin is tucked. Breathe in at the top. Exhale, roll back down at that bra line, coming down through the lower ribs. The waist can be always a little bit tricky to find that contact. The low back and eventually your tailbone. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, tuck and roll up. Use those legs. Keep those back muscles out of this one. Exhale to lower. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tuck and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Check that you've got even weight in both legs. Breathe in at the top. Exhale, tuck and roll back down. Good job. Really nice. Then we're just going to finish with opening the legs out and just letting them open and melt there. Let the inner thighs relax. And just breathe into it. You can again always support the legs on a couple of yoga blocks or pillows if it's not comfortable. Just stay in for 2 breaths, breathing into pelvic floor, his inner thighs, the belly, the chest, the back of the body. Letting everything soften. Good job. Okay, nice. You're all done. Feel free to take a bit of a low back stretch if you need to, or even in child's pose. I hope you have a lovely day.